the participants to take their seats. Unfortunately, the Deputy Minister, Mr. Kyranakis, is right now submitting the bill in the Parliament, and he needs to be there. So we won't have Mr. Kyranakis with us. Still, the discussion will be equally interesting. Mr. Christodoulou, the floor to you. Can you hear me? Yes, okay. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes, unfortunately, Mr. Kyranakis cannot be with us. Still, the panel comprises distinguished speakers, and I believe that the topic that we will touch upon is a topic we know very well. We will try to get some useful and interesting insights on it. The way we have structured the panel discussion is the following. We have two people from the technology companies. We have Ms. Kalfaki, who is head of the public sector for Google. Good morning, Ms. Kalfaki. Good morning. We have Mr. John Asvestis, who is the sales manager of Hewlett Packard. Good morning. And we have representatives of two businesses, one of which is Moderator Hellas. We have the pleasure of having the IT director, Mr. Giannakakis. And if I'm not mistaken, you were among the 100 top chief information officers, if I'm not mistaken. You know how awards are given. Let's not say too much about that. And we also have with us the Chief Transformation Officer of Piraeus Bank, Mr. Karamousalis, with us. So we don't have the Deputy Minister with us. However, I imagine that what he would say is that the digital transformation is one of the priorities of the state and of the government. This was also said previously by Mr. Papathanasis. It is one of the three main priorities, since digital transformation can ensure sustainable development. And this is exactly what I would like to talk about with the panelists. The truth is that in most of the conferences, digital transformation attracts most of the interest. It is the hot topic of the day. However, I would like to see whether this is hype or whether it is actually a reality that can truly contribute to the growth of Greece. So I would like to start straight with the IT companies, with Ms. Kalfaki. I would like you to tell us, as representative of Google, about digital transformation. We said that this is a priority of the country. You, in Google, who celebrated 15 years of operation in Greece last week, how do you contribute to this digital transformation? Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. I would like to say a few things about the meaning of digital transformation for the citizens themselves. Because everything we do aims at putting the citizens in the center of decisions. What does it mean? Improve the transactions the citizens have with the public sector? How do they interact with the platforms? We believe that digital transformation places the citizen and the service of the citizen in the center of everything. The main priority is to simplify and facilitate the daily life of the citizen, and this is very important. So I believe that digitalization is associated with many different things, reskilling, upskilling. However, always in the center of all actions, of all decisions, and of all projects is the better servicing of the citizen and the creation of a better future for the citizen, be it in terms of security of data, protection of data, and anything that has to do with the citizen. So in my view, the digital transformation has to do with the way we can bring citizen in the heart of everything we do. And practically speaking, all our actions and all our coordination aims at serving the citizen. Okay, I will come back to that. So what you're saying is that for Google, the priority is to place the citizen in the center of everything, which is also a priority of the Greek state. Do you believe that this will change our lives to the better? That it will make Greece better? First question. And then second question. As Google, you have committed to assist in this effort by taking specific actions and making specific investments. So I would like to hear more about that. Given the 15th anniversary of Google in Greece, we chose as the topic for the celebration Mazi, together. In other words, how Google, along with the public sector, with the startup ecosystem, with the universities, and together with the research centers, we can create this vehicle that will take us to the future. Google, on its own, cannot possibly achieve this. There is a partner ecosystem. There are small, medium companies that contribute in that. There are distinguished people in the universities, professors, researchers, people who develop models, who use the Google platforms in order to create models for things like sustainability or AI or crisis management or security of data and information. All of these different parties together use the technology platforms in order to take all of us to the future and in order to ensure a better future. I believe that no one has the magical recipe. On the contrary, if different parties decide to act together, parties that share the same vision, that is to help the country, then I believe that this will be far better and will make easier for all of us to deliver on our promises, one of which is, of course, to contribute to the growth of the country. So you believe in Greece, you strategically invest in Greece, and you believe that results will be gotten. Yes. Okay, let's turn to Hewlett Packard and ask a similar question. You, as Hewlett Packard, how have you contributed to the digital transformation of the country, or how will you contribute? Good morning. On my part, I would like to take the relay from Google and talk about the investments we are making in Greece. And I would like to start with something that gave us a lot of joy as Hewlett Packard and shows also how much we believe in technology, but also in Greece. We believe that technology can change the lives of all. In May 2023, in the Delphi Forum, we announced a large investment that will be made in our country, an investment that was actually made in June. This investment pertains to a center of excellence and a center of innovation that was established here in Greece and is the third after USA and India that was completed in the country. So the company decided to invest in the country because it believes in it. It believes in the excellent scientists and engineers. This investment created 35 jobs, and I believe that the growth is certain, and we will definitely increase the number of the people working there. Now, how can digital transformation change our reality and our daily life? Very easily, and we believe that. This belief is part of our DNA. What we aspire is at offering the best solutions to the employees, but also to the country, so as to change its profile abroad. Hewlett Packard is a company that is investing in Greece since it believes that it can become the example when it comes to innovation and growth When it comes to digital transformation, since it is a journey that will last many years, and also taking into account what is about to happen with AI, since this will drastically change the world and the way we operate, we as a company, we have invested in it. I would like to add something with regard to AI. All these systems and all the tools that will change our lives are based on supercomputers. Huge computational power is required, and Hewlett Packard has the pleasure of having the #1 system in the world. And in order for you to understand the size, if our planet for 24 hours a day for 3 years made calculations, this computer will do these calculations in a second. So all these AI and machine learning models that will be created in the future require infrastructure and systems that will serve, of course, not only the companies, but also research centers that conduct research on climate change, on health, and on significant issues. So we provide this opportunity. And one of the basic part of our strategy is how we can help this ecosystem, the research centers, the universities, and the companies, that is, in this effort to change the planet and our daily life.
We saw today, and from what Mr. Georgiadis saw and all that, there is a trust in the big tech companies, consultancy companies, and so forth, that in Greece something important takes place. It is worth investing in digital transformation and support it. And the initiatives taken by many companies, including ours here on the panel, is that we create something here in Greece which does not happen in many countries of Europe. Your investments, you mentioned Amazon, Microsoft, Hewlett Packard, Deloitte, Pfizer. That is many companies that actually believe in the fact that what happens currently in Greece is different, is far better and far more interesting than what happens in the broader region. So this is worth noting. We must keep that because most probably it may mean a lot for the future of the country. Now I turn to the users of technology, and let us start with Mr. Giannakakis. Now, is digital transformation a priority for you, and to what extent would you state it? Well, yes, a very topical question, and offers us the possibility to reset motor oil. Motor oil has been operating for 51 years in Greece. It is true that we started and we've got one of the biggest and more complex refineries in Europe. Nevertheless, the strategy that we announced last week, we are now based on 4 big pillars. The first pillar is still the oil refinery. The second one is mobility and the tail that we have, that is all that shops that we have, convenience stores that expand further than the convenience store. These are the renewable energy sources, where the second biggest IS provider in Greece and Southeastern Europe. And the fourth pillar, beyond IS, is also cyclic economy. So 4 big pillars. Now, let us view each one separately, because we referred to interventions, and I listened very carefully to Mr. Papathanasiou and all the other speakers. Motor oil, according to our 2030 strategy, will be investing 4 billion euros from today until 2030 in the energy transition. I reiterate, a Greek company in Greece with own resources, 4 billion euros. So as to understand how is the whole NSRF, the RRF, these 4 billion euros can be allocated in 2 major pillars. 1.5 billion to be allocated to what we call sustainable, that is maintain the status quo and improve the refinery, if you like. and 2.5 billion euros will be allocated to the energy transition. Do you know what's the underpinning of all that? Digital transformation. All these 4 billion euros are underpinned and enabled by the energy transition, by digital transformation. And it is easy to think that in a field such as refiner, for instance, which is the next step, so as to be far more efficient in what we do. We speak of 3 million cubic meters, refining 200,000 oil barrels daily. So it's important to be as efficient as possible. How can it be done? By implementing what we call digital transformation, a series of exploiting the data produced and collected, by doing an excellent forecast, connecting all the data of the refinery from the refining till the final load. Furthermore, if we shift to the 2.5 billion euros and the energy transition that we try to effect, digital transformation leaves productivity and becomes a key enabler. Today, we run a huge program regarding the RES, either be it the Vitra power plant or the statistical forecast, which is essential so as to make a forecast on what's happening. So, in conclusion, today, a large part of transformation is in progress, which is underpinned by digital transformation in this part. Fine. Very impressive what you say. And let me insist a little bit and ask, therefore, of these 4 billion euros, I imagine that a large bulk, since it is digital transformation enabler, will regard also investments that will be directed in IT, the forecast systems, as you said, data systems, and so forth. So I would like to come back and ask you, since you touched upon the subject, and this is an important part of our discussion. So actually, you invest in AI. And what are your focus? Well, I have now wear my hat of a CIO. What's the role of a CIO? First, to inform the board and make the distinction. What is hype? What is noise? How we're going to have the real value for the shareholders. So within all that, we try to introduce a clear concept. For us, AI concept consists of 2 pillars. The everyday AI that focuses on productivity and all that, which is generative AI. It has back office and front office. And the business-changing AI, where we try through AI to have a strategic advantage. Let us see how we invest in each branch. In everyday AI, it is a fact that Motor Oil is one of 500 companies of Microsoft Copilot and so forth, taking, of course, always care of productivity, but we also make steps ahead. Indicatively, look at the refinery. What is it? It is a big energy consumer, the refinery. At this point, we have a huge program based on AI through which we optimize the energy consumed in the refinery. This actually is what we call everyday AI and goes far beyond new scales. Now, business-changing AI, we are still trying through partners, and we've got amazing partners of our partners here in the panel. We try to understand what is it, to identify what will help us progress. What is the ultimate goal, so as to bring a new business model. We haven't reached that point yet, but we still strive. We spoke of statistical forecast, for instance. I'd say that even predictive maintenance that we have implemented, which is a predictive maintenance in an asset of higher value than 350 billion euros on an annual basis. So this whole contains our investment in AI. Now, the problem are all the challenges that I mentioned. We try from within an ecosystem of partners, try to lay the foundation so as to move ahead. So, excellent. Now, let us move to the bank now. An services organization which has as a main goal to grant loans, right? Not solely. So you have an excellent role. You are in charge of the transformation of the bank. So if I were to ask you, vis-a-vis digital transformation, where do you say the priority for the bank? What is the first priority that will address? In what area, what sector? Well, listen, Nicholas, digital transformation is a concept that it would be nice to clarify. Digital transformation in such a big organization, such as Piraeus Bank, the biggest bank with 5 million clients, 8,500 employees, 450 branches in Greece. And I would like to demonstrate the complexity of such a huge organization demands and sets as a prerequisite digital transformation, and not solely. In the past, we had the luxury to speak of digital transformation in high-tech companies and some expressions of activities of other companies, which might be considered a kind of luxury. Now, this has to be crystal clear. Digital transformation is a necessity. It's here to stay. It's the sine qua non condition for the survival of an organization, especially those addressed to B2C, have big complexity and big structures. Now, in your question, digital transformation is, as mentioned, a basic enabler along with our people, those two horizontal leverages for the overall transformation of the Piraeus Bank that has been taking place for many years and more intensely the last 3 years, which consists of 3 main pillars. Channels, that is interface with our customers, and services and commodities offered at the moment the client needs it, 24/7. The products, innovation in our products, innovation and upgrading of our own trade and sales potential, because in order to be in front of the customer and trying to sell either banking products or services, mortgages, insurance products, or whatever, one must have the necessary tools at hand so as to support the client in making the best possible decision. And of course, the fourth pillar of the broader transformation is our internal world, our internal procedures, how more effective we can be, and how we can help our people, our colleagues, in doing their work better, moving bureaucracy outside, and liberating resources and time so as to use it in higher value activities. So in all these 4 sectors, we have used digital transformation so as to improve the services offered. I can tell you indicatively, in the part of channels, contact with our customers, we all use e-banking. We've got 2.8 million customers using e-banking, and that means that our customers don't have to go to a branch and spend time, energy, fuel, in order merely to change a PIN that they lost, or to open a bank account, or even to become customers for the first time. This they can do through their mobile phone within 10 minutes. We open the reach of approaching the customers, which was underpenetrated currently or do not have equitable access to banking. I see the title is also inclusiveness. So I have to mention a client now that has some kind of disability, visual impairment, or mobility impairment can enter e-banking and through virtual teller can be served so as to open such a bank relation with us. We integrate digital capacities in our physical branches where our customers can do many more things and be self-serviced. And at the end of the day, again, liberate our tellers so as to do more qualitative trade, embark in more qualitative trade discussions. And there are also initiatives that we have taken in the field of products, of services offered. We are the unique bank that currently offers the so-called BNPL service. That is, someone can buy something with a debit or credit card somewhere where the merchant doesn't offer installments, and then through Winbank, divided in installments with a very small cost. In the field of internal operations of our sales skills, we develop technologies such as robo for advisors. So through this suite, we can optimize our customers' portfolio and propose the best possible solutions in the investment environment we have. And through advanced algorithms of machine learning, we can currently identify the needs of our customers on the basis of historical profile and his past transactions. For instance, I paid with my credit card a nursery. We can perhaps then identify the eventual need of our customer for an insurance contract for the new member of the family or a mortgage. So all these technologies that some you already use, but some of you may perhaps not know it, that they lag behind the interfaces and the platforms that we offer to our customers are there, and they are main pillar of the digital profile of our bank. So actually, you both demonstrated that in order to have this transformation, digital transformation of our company, no matter what the nature of the company, the necessary prerequisite, the necessary enabler is the digital transformation. This can be deduced regardless of the nature of the company. And this is most important. That's true. Now, let us introduce another dimension,
which has to do with the second part of the discussion. Even though the time is limited, I would like to touch upon it. However, please be brief in your answers. We talk about sustainable development, and I will start again with the tech companies, with Mr. Asvestis. So we're talking about sustainable development. Right now, it is true, and this was also said by the ministers, that there are a lot of financial resources that are invested in the financing tools that will take us to the future. How can we ensure that the investments made in digital transformation will have a continuity? What does Hewlett Packard Enterprise have to say about this sustainable result? With great joy, I heard about the digital leaps made by companies in Greece, and we, the tech companies, are here to support them in that effort. When it comes to sustainability, we as a company, and more specifically our president, made an announcement 4 years ago, according to which all the portfolio of products of Hewlett Packard would be offered as a service. In other words, to learn about the workload, to get services, since this would simplify the digital transformation so that we, the tech companies, could actually take on the baseline part on which the companies would build their models. This is the basic part of the service that is based on sustainability, on circular economy, and how companies offer a service that will be renewed when it needs to be renewed, since you understand that the infrastructure will require new resources, they will have different needs, and this will happen forever. But forever there will be an organization like Hewlett Packard that will undertake this asset management side, the utilization of resources in a different way, so as to ensure that what is produced internally by the organization will be greener and at the same time with a smaller energy footprint. So the investments you make today are investments that will give results in the long term. Yes, because we're talking about service. Moreover, something else we do internally as a company is that we are one of the two companies that have decided that we'll have a zero carbon footprint, not by 2050, which is the regulation, but by 2040. So all the systems we produce and the services that we'll produce for our clients are developed in a sustainable way. I'm taking a look at the time. I understand that we don't have much time. Yes, I will be very brief and very specific. First of all, Google and the cloud organization is very proud because it is the cleanest cloud. So we also invest in sustainability as a company. The clients can trust us on that. And two other things that I consider to be very important for the country, but also generally, skilling, reskilling. Absolutely necessary if we want to make our country attractive. I'm a person who came back from abroad because I believed in Greece and I want to create the conditions necessary for others to do the same. Not only as Viktoria, but as a company, I want to do that. And the third, how we use data and more specifically AI so as to predict things that will come about, to be ready, not to be reactive, to be proactive. We talked about predictive analytics and other technologies. We need to incorporate all these in the service since this is a way to ensure sustainable growth. Okay, now let's ask the representative of the bank. Mr. Karamousalis, how do you perceive the concept of sustainable growth for your bank? We are the basic finances of ESG and green financing. But since we don't have much time, I would like to give a different approach to sustainability. In order to contribute to sustainable growth, and I'm talking about businesses again, the transformation that happens internally needs to be sustainable. And we have placed that in the heart of everything we do. What do I mean exactly? That the transformation is not a project that lasts 3 years and something that applies smart solutions and technological innovation. No. If it was just that, then you would invest a lot of money in this process, and then 3-4 years later, this would become obsolete. A sustainable transformation, a transformation that can contribute to sustainable growth, is a transformation that actually involves people and culture and impacts the DNA of the company itself. If we can create these capabilities in the traditional organizations, not in the tech organizations, which by definition, by design, are developed in such a way so as to innovate technologically. So if the rest of the organizations don't change the culture, don't create innovation capabilities so that we can constantly keep track of the data, and you can see how quickly data is being developed on a daily basis. And if we don't take the right decisions on which technological solutions we use, then no transformation will ever be successful. Yes, this was a very interesting approach. So based on that approach, I would like to ask Mr. Giannakakis for some famous last words. I would like to ask him whether you can find this talent that is necessary for a sustainable transformation, sustainable growth of the company. First of all, you need to keep in mind of the regulatory framework. Even if what you were saying, Nico, doesn't exist, there is a regulatory framework in which we operate, in which that obligates us to follow this direction. We all started with a financial ledger. Okay, we incorporated in the systems. Then material ledger. Again, something new. Now, green ledger. So sustainable growth actually takes you back to what we call change. change of the digital model. And for us today, sustainable growth is associated with hydrogen. We are designing sustainable factories together. And of course, everything we do is based on talent. We operate in an environment that is defined by talent war. We have far fewer data scientists than we need. Still, we continue to try and find the people we need. We need to develop an ecosystem of partners around us so as to constantly attract talents. I would just like to tell you that Motorola in the past 18 months increased its workforce, its engineers by 25%, which is very significant percentage. Okay, with these words, we can finish this discussion. I would like to thank you very much. If we had to draw a conclusion, the conclusion would be that digital transformation is a prerequisite for sustainable development. I believe that this is the conclusion that we can all agree on, and thank you very much for this discussion.